For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? I learned to hold my pee for 8 hours straight in middle school, not because of a medical condition, but because my shoes had holes in them and the bathroom floor was always wet. Those shoes were supposed to last me 2 years. My mom got them at Goodwill, and they were already worn when I got them. By 8th grade, the soles had completely separated from the front. I used duct tape, but it only lasted a few days before water would seep through. The school bathroom always had wet floors, leaky toilets, kids washing their hands and splashing everywhere, you name it. If I went in there, my socks would get soaked. And once your socks are wet, everyone knows. They squelch when you walk. People notice, so I held it. Every single day, from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. when I could run home. I became an expert at it. I knew exactly how much water I could drink at breakfast without consequences. Half a glass. No more. I would watch other kids chug their juice boxes at lunch, and I would just sit there with my dry mouth, pretending I was not thirsty. My mom did not know. She was working 2 jobs just to keep our lights on. She would leave for work at 5 a.m. and would not get home until 9 p.m. The last thing I wanted was to add shoe money to her list of things to worry about. I saw her cry over bills enough times. I was not going to be another bill. Some days were worse than others. During winter, the cold made it harder. My body wanted to go more frequently, but I could not. I would sit in math class, doing multiplication tables in my head, anything to distract myself from the pressure in my bladder. Other kids would raise their hands and just go. So casual about it, like it was the most normal thing in the world. And I guess for them, it was. I started avoiding drinking fountains. I would walk past them, even when my throat felt like sandpaper. My teachers probably thought I was the most hydrated kid in school because I never asked for bathroom breaks. Alex sat 3 rows ahead of me in English class. I had had a crush on him since 6th grade, but guys like him did not notice girls like me. His backpack was always new. His clothes never had stains or loose threads. He lived in a world I could only imagine. One time he dropped his pencil and it rolled near my desk. When I picked it up to hand it back, I noticed my hands were shaking. Not because I was nervous, but because I had not eaten anything since the free breakfast at school 7 hours earlier. He said thanks and smiled, completely unaware that simple interaction was the highlight of my entire week. I was terrified he would find out about my shoes, about how I lived, about how some nights we ate cereal for dinner because that was all we had, about how my mom would pretend she was not hungry so my little brother and I could eat more. The shame was suffocating. It was not just about being poor, it was about being invisible because of it. Like poverty had somehow made me less than human, less deserving of basic dignity. I remember one girl in my class, Emily, complaining about how her parents only gave her a $50 allowance instead of $100 that month. $50. That was more than my mom spent on groceries for our entire family for 2 weeks. I just sat there, nodding along, pretending I understood her struggle. The worst part was not the hunger or the broken shoes, or even the physical pain of holding it all day. It was the constant performance, the exhausting act of pretending everything was normal, laughing at jokes about things I had never experienced, staying quiet when everyone talked about their weekend plans that cost money. But one day, in March, I could not anymore. I was in so much pain I was shaking. I finally gave up and went to the bathroom during lunch. I tried to tiptoe, tried to avoid the puddles, but it was impossible. My socks were drenched. When I came out of the stall, I froze. There, sitting right outside the door, were someone's sneakers. Nice ones, the kind that cost actual money. My crush, Alex, was standing there in just his socks. I saw you limping earlier, he said quietly. Just wear these home, give them back tomorrow. I started crying. Right there, he just handed me his shoes and walked away like it was nothing. The next day, I tried to give them back. He would not take them, said he had another pair. 15 years later, I married that man. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness become your whole world.